Are you really surprised by Megxit? There was never going to be a happy situation with the narcissist Meghan Markle in the equation of the royal British family. Doing research and hearing testimonies from family members, it appears that Markle is in fact ruthless when it comes to her ambitions. So ruthless, in fact, that it leads to the deterioration of friendships and even family relationships. There is quite a stark difference between Meghan and Harry. Harry has been bound by duty and honour his whole life. These are the cards he was dealt with. This is the life he knows, and putting country before yourself is how a royal must function. Meghan has worked hard and earned her position into Hollywood working actress. She has acquired a role on the popular show Suits, and from there begun to further establish herself as a Hollywood entrepreneur and a humanitarian. To understand the specifics of the once royal couple, just explore these two scenarios. 1. Princess Diana and Prince Charles, and 2. Grace Kelly and Prince Rainier. For those who don't know, Grace Kelly had worked her way into Hollywood celebrity status. She had become one of the favourite leading ladies. She had been raised in an upper-class Philadelphia home and eventually set her sights on acting. After several affairs and failed relationships, she accepted a meeting with the Prince of Monaco, a calculated move on his part to bring money back into the economy. In a bid to improve conditions and interest in the principality, he thought that marrying a Hollywood starlet would change things. Upon accepting his proposal, Grace Kelly announced that she would give up the career she had so successfully built and commit to a life of royal duties and learn French. She did not immediately feel welcomed by all in Monaco, and they loved her, but she did find it extremely difficult to deal with the amplified scrutiny of the Monegasques. The interest in Grace Kelly and her life in Monaco never wavered. The interest, however, mightn't be comparable, as the British royals are on another level of fame and intrigue, but Grace persisted with her royal duties and had hoped that it were possible to one day return to acting. But she was very quickly put in her place and understood that this would never be a reality. Instead, she found different ways to exercise her love of the arts. She did so by opening up a school of ballet and reading poetry. Grace Kelly even served as a confidant for Princess Diana when she was beginning her royal life. We then move on to Princess Diana. She married at 20 years of age as she ticked all the appropriate criteria. She came from an aristocratic family, she was a virgin, and refreshingly quite naive regarding what to expect with royal life. Diana stepped into the role beautifully and very quickly married Prince Charles and secured the future king for the United Kingdom. The people fell in love with her, and those at Buckingham Palace were somewhat unsettled by the adulation she received by the people. Princess Diana never understood how or why the interest in her was so intense. Either way, after the divorce, the media scrutiny intensified.
When I started my public life 12 years ago, I understood the media might be interested in what I did. I realized then their attention would inevitably focus on both our private and public lives. But I was not aware of how overwhelming that attention would become, nor the extent to which it would affect both my public duties and my personal life in a manner that's been hard to bear. Obviously, I attach great importance to my charity work, and I intend to focus on a smaller range of areas in the future.
Princess Diana grew agitated under the constant media spotlight, but she felt this way after having dealt with it for 13 odd years. Meghan Markle couldn't even handle a year and a half, yet it seems, according to all, this was the role she wanted, and now all of a sudden, she acts like she can't handle it. Additionally, this particular speech sounds reminiscent or parallels one Meghan Markle made to a reporter not too long ago.
When I first met my now husband, my friends were really happy because I was so happy, but my British friends said to me, "I'm sure he's great, but you shouldn't do it because the British tabloids will destroy your life." Really tried to adopt this British sensibility of a stiff upper lip, but I think that what that does internally is probably really damaging. And the biggest thing that I know is that I never thought that this would be easy, but I thought it would be fair. And that's the part that's really hard to reconcile.
On some level, she was the people's princess. And on another level, they loved to hate her because this sold newspapers. According to what we know that occurred in the past, Diana felt like a prisoner at Buckingham Palace, and so she organised some tapes as a window to what life was like in the castle walls. With such intense media scrutiny amplified on Diana, how could anyone be at ease or relaxed? Had Prince Charles not cheated on Diana, could their marriage have lasted and made the difference? What has Meghan Markle gone through in contrast? Well, let us compare. Meghan was perfect, in my eyes, at the beginning of this entire whirlwind princess story. The Queen had accepted a woman of colour into the royal bloodline. Additionally, she had accepted a Hollywood actress. This is unusual, as she thots on camera and she is a previous divorcee. With all these things in her resume, the Queen and the people still embraced Meghan. Yet after 2 years playing the role of royalty and being a public servant to the people of Britain, it appears that Meghan was misbehaving and changing tradition and not following royal protocol. She claims to be concerned over the environment and climate change, yet takes private jets all over the world, which actually omits far more carbon emissions than birthing children into the world. She has had difficulty maintaining staff. The couple moved out of the cottage they were living in and chose to move to a more private area and have it renovated for $4.3 million using taxpayer dollars. Finally, she does not want to deal with the public when she is at Wimbledon. She has all the makings of an excellent duchess. It could have been epic. It would have been amazing. It has all the makings of a Hollywood movie, but Meghan seeped her toxic feminism into Harry, and he cucked hard. They were hoping to have their cake and eat it too. They wanted to participate as royals for 6 months out of the year and live doing as they chose for the other 6 months of the year. Well, that is simply not how things function, and the Queen essentially said no. As a result, they have lost their titles and have acquired full financial independence, which they wanted. The Queen simply specified the terms and enforced it. And then some. It had the makings of a perfect recipe. Everyone was excited about the concept of the Fab Four and how modern and progressive the royal family appeared to be on the outset. Well, now it is over. Is it possible for the Crown to return to full-time royal duties someday? As far as I am concerned, this was never going to end well. They are now free to work on the causes they choose. This includes women's causes, and as Princess Diana did, they too can do the same.
I want you to hear the truth from me, as much as I can share, not as a prince or a duke, but as Harry, the same person that many of you have watched grow up over the last 35 years, but now with a clearer perspective. The UK is my home and a place that I love. That will never change. The decision that I have made for my wife and I to step back is not one I made lightly. It was so many months of talks after so many years of challenges. And I know I haven't always gotten it right, but as far as this goes, there really was no other option. What I want to make clear is we're not walking away. And we certainly aren't walking away from you. Our hope was to continue serving the Queen, the Commonwealth, and my military associations, but without public funding. Unfortunately, that wasn't possible. I've accepted this, knowing that it doesn't change who I am or how committed I am. But I hope that helps you understand what it had come to, that I would step my family back from all I have ever known, to take a step forward into what I hope can be a more peaceful life. I was born into this life, and it is a great honour to serve my country and the Queen.
Meghan's insistence on feeling like the media is out to get her does not match the words she spoke in the engagement interview that she never reads the tabloids.
I made the choice to not read anything, positive or negative. It just didn't make sense, and instead we focused all of our energies just on nurturing our relationship.
On us. Yeah.
On us.
It is my belief that Harry is pussy whipped. Yet at the same time, he cannot ever forgive the British media for their treatment of his beloved mother, who was dying whilst they took photographs. It is quite the nuanced scenario. But ultimately, my final summary of this situation is that Meghan Markle played the victim despite saying she does not read what the tabloids say. She probably wanted to be favoured in a more positive light, but was unable to handle the media negativity, and so instead of the stiff upper lip and confronting the drama by soldiering on, they backed away, intending to choose a simpler life and to have one foot in the British crown and the other foot in North America, Hollywood, basking in freedom and independence. Well, you made your husband quit everything he knew for you. Your lack of respect for the traditions of the British royal ways and his entire life. I am keen to see how much longer this union will last and what kind of adventures are ahead for you. Let us see.